Mm. Welcome back to Shank's Ranks. In case you're new here, I like to do reviews on some of my favorite 3D Blu-ray films, and on occasion some 4K titles as well. Up for review today, I have Tim Burton's Dumbo on 3D Blu-ray. I'll try and make this as quick as possible, and I'll be sure not to leave any spoilers for those who haven't seen it. For the picture, we have a beautiful 1x85 one widescreen, so it fills up your whole TV screen. Now, going into the 3D, I would say I would give this one 4 out of 5 stars for the depth. I mean, I didn't have high hopes for this. I saw it in the theater in 2D, and I thought the picture was dark and muddy. I didn't really care for it much, and I couldn't imagine a 3D conversion looking that much better either. Even after I read a Cineblend review online that the 3D wasn't that great. But with most cases, it all just depends on how you're viewing it. If you're viewing it on a projector, what kind of projector, the TV, what kind of TV screen. I played it on my 60-inch Samsung LED 4K 3D TV, and it looked pretty damn good. The picture was super bright, brighter than the 4K version as a matter of fact. The colors were warm, it had kind of a Monet-style painting look to it. I thought it looked great. And then the depth was phenomenal. If you've ever seen Jurassic Park on 3D Blu-ray, it reminded me a lot of that. There's not too much of the pop that comes out protruding out of the screen, touching your nose into your face, but it does create a sense of natural pop with so many layers of separation of objects. I mean, even from the beginning, it starts out with Casey Jones, the train, taking the circus crew to wherever destinations they're going. There's a scene where it's zooming out from this big sign that says Medici Brothers Circus, and on one side of the sign, you can see the train on the railroad track coming up. And I mean, it looks like you could literally grab the sign, the billboard, and just look over and feel like the train is going to come at you. So there's a lot of stuff like that. When the train finally gets to its destination, you see a lot of smoke or steam coming from the engine that is very 3D-ish. So it's very minor things like that. And I thought that would be the extent of how much pop we would get. But then as the movie progresses, it gets a little bit better. When Dumbo starts to practice flying for the first time, when it's more of an accident, you know, he gets the feather and poof, and he starts jumping around. You got hay that's inside his cage or train that he's in that just starts coming out all over the place. The best part is when he makes his debut and he's flying through the circus. I mean, it takes you at times on a first-person roller coaster where it feels like you're the one flying around. And then there will be third-person shots where he will come out of the screen and then come back in. It looks pretty cool. There's a scene towards the middle where they're at a much bigger circus and they have these people blowing huge bubbles, and Dumbo sees them as elephants, and I guess it's supposed to be a knockoff of the scene from the original cartoon where Dumbo's hallucinating and sees all those elephants walking around and dancing. But that scene is pretty spectacular to watch in 3D as well. There's a lot of off-the-screen moments. So for the depth, like I said, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. The pop, I'd give... I want to say, this was hard to say for me, because I wanted to say 2 at first, because when it comes to pop, I really like the in-your-face ones, and even though it had some of those moments, most of it was pretty natural pop, just layers of objects that, you know, the foreground is kind of feels like it's coming off the screen. But what I can say about it was that it was consistent all the way through. So it had a decent amount of depth and pop. And that's what I like. I can't stand movies where it starts out good and then towards the middle of it you kind of feel like, wait, hold on a sec, let me take off my glasses. Is it flat here? But no, it was actually done really well for a conversion. And like I said, the picture was bright, colorful. If you're debating whether or not to see this in 4K or 3D, I would definitely go for the 3D version. I think it was 10 times better than the 4K version. But either way, I ended up getting both. As far as the sound goes, I don't really have too much to say about the sound. The 4K version had a Dolby Atmos track, And the 3D version had the typical 7.1 DTS HD master audio. There really wasn't much difference. I thought that the sound was still kind of low, which I was kind of surprised about, because when I watch the Marvel movies in 3D, the DTS tracks sometimes seem louder to me than the Dolby Atmos tracks, but this one seemed just as low as its Atmos counterpart. And the dialogue was crisp and clear, but you didn't really hear much in the surround channels apart from music. The only time you really heard anything in there, as far as object-based goes, is when Dumbo's obviously flying around the tent or flying around wherever he goes. But all in all, it's a pretty mild soundtrack. I'd probably give the DTS track on this, I don't know, maybe 3 out of 5 stars, which is, I think, what I'd probably give the Atmos track too. I hope I was able to help you out, guys. Like I said, there are times when I can't decide which one I like better because they're both good, but in this case, the 3D version is definitely better. I'll leave a link down below to where you can get it on Amazon UK. I really don't think it's that expensive to import. I would do it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.